you know that that's a possibility. Online colleges are becoming way popular nowadays, right? And that's something that we can take a look at as well. And also, lastly, I do want to go ahead and talk about the option of staying here in country. Staying here in country has become a lot more popular in the last few years, right? Why? Because the universities here in Korea are offering better international programs. And then also, as you might know, out in Songdo, there's a lot of universities U.S. universities that are now located here, right? So George Mason, SUNY, the one in New York, Utah, these universities now offer programs here. So why not consider some of these options in country, because they're a fraction of the price? So the process is very similar, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this presentation. But just know that there's a lot of flexibility, a lot of options that are available, other than just looking at going overseas and even going to college. And as we go ahead and try to wrap up 19, and then finally we'll look at myth number 20 after this. A bad teacher or counselor recommendation can ruin your chances to get into a good college. Let me go ahead and take a quick note to go ahead and look at this impact on social media. Well, that might be an impact that we have, but at the same time, know that your students have their own impact on their own life based on their social media status, right? Take a look. We see that in terms of the impact of social media, 50% we're looking at universities that look at social media. More than that, actually. What's the number here? Over 80% of colleges, this might be a little over 80% of colleges use Facebook when reviewing your child's application. They'll look at the name, they'll go ahead and review you on Facebook. There's a few articles in your booklet, so please go ahead and take a look at that. But I just want to go ahead and say, you got to go ahead and be wise about some of these decisions. Just because you think it's on social media that universities are not going to look at it, about 15% of universities have admitted that they have returned a decision after looking at a social media page. Right? I think that number's too high. Why risk it? Right? So I think that's something we need to go ahead and be careful about. But I do want to go ahead and, one moment please. Skip forward and take a look. If you take a look at this list again, oh look, I'm on the screen. Yay, I'm important. But if you take a look, seven rows down, you'll go ahead and see counselor recommendation. Right. I'll be honest. In terms of the recommendation process, first of all, I want to go ahead and mention that all recommendations come through me. So regardless of which teacher that you're looking to get recommendations from, first of all, your child should be thinking about who should I get recommendations from as this year finishes up. They should be thinking about what relationships have I developed. You don't want to just look at teachers that you got A's in their class for. Because I've had some students say, I want a teacher recommendation from this teacher, and that teacher will come back and say, I don't know that student at all. Yeah, okay, he got a 97%, but he never taught, right? So hopefully your children are investing in our school and developing relationships with the teachers, right? So don't just look at the ones that your child got good grades in. But the process is that they all have to go through me, right? It's very important that it goes through my desk so I can manage all the recommendations, right? That's the way it works. However, I do want to go ahead and focus on one particular thing, right? I don't like to brag too often, but every now and then I feel like there's a right avenue to do that. I want to go ahead and mention that we write amazing letters of recommendation, right? Yeah, the recommendations can affect your child's application process, right? I'm 7th on the list. Teacher recommendations are 9th on the list in terms of things that are important. Colleges are going to want to know in terms of what you were like in the classroom, more than just a percentage. Right? They're going to want to hear words from our mouth in terms of how you were as a student and what your personality was. And I just got these emails into my inbox the past few months, and I just wanted to go ahead and share them with you because take a look at what they're saying about our school and how we write these letters of recommendation. Thank you so much for this background on Hannah, and these are not real names, by the way, right? I can say that I do not often see such a rousing recommendation on a student's behalf and has made an impression to be sure. These are emails that didn't have to be sent to me, but they read the recommendation and then they're saying these comments, right? It is lovely to hear from you and thank you for reaching out. I greatly enjoyed reading your letter of recommendation this and last year. They are extremely well written and some of the best I've read in my 4 years of admissions. They read thousands of recommendations and they're saying that about YISS recommendations. Look at the last one. I just had to write, I loved your letter for John. What a refreshing break today while reviewing files to read something that captures the student so well while also being fun to read. Thank you. That one was a fun recommendation. It took me about 7 days to write it. It was hard. I decided to go ahead and compare that one student to every member of the Avengers. It was really challenging, but I nailed it apparently, right? We don't just write recommendation letters. We don't recycle them. It takes me days to write one. Because I have to go ahead and make sure I know your child. If you're thinking, how are you going to write a recommendation? You don't know my child. That's part of my job, the hardest part. I do my research. I do my homework. And when I write a recommendation, I have to go ahead and look back and research old recommendations I've written that was sent to the same university that your child is looking to apply to. So I don't write the same exact thing again. And that's why it takes me so many days to go ahead and write them. And I also train our teachers to write good letters. And if they don't write good letters, I go back and tell them, you got to write it again. I do that because it all goes back to the point of I want our school to really be at a point and be the vessel that can really help your children to succeed. Right? We want your children to have a personal voice, and we're going to try to help them do that. And I think that's very, very important for us. Right? So I'm so encouraged by some of these things that were written here. Lastly, college is hard to get into. Well, this is how I'd like to go ahead and wrap up this evening. I do want to go ahead and talk about some of the services that we offer. It is hard. It's not a myth. It's tough. But that's where I come in. That's where I come in and try to help. These are just generally some of the services that we offer, right? In terms of the counseling, absolutely. But we also prepare all the documents, the records that Ms. Napier so kindly does for us every single year and tirelessly does, hours upon hours, without any break. Recommendations, we make sure we manage all of those. The application is what you guys need to go ahead and focus on. And of course, lastly, in terms of whatever other assistance you need, that's pretty much where I come in. Anything else. I've gotten a wide range of requests in terms of things that families have asked of me to help you guys with. Right? From financial aid to assisting with, not just what colleges might be the right fit, but taking a look at maybe some what other job opportunities, internships. I even have families that have graduated like 10 years ago still asking me for assistance. I'm totally happy with that. Literally, I got an email yesterday from the class of 2004 asking me for help. This is the kind of commitment that we're making to you as a school. When you go ahead and commit to YISS, this is our commitment to you. If I don't know the answer, I most certainly will go ahead and find out. But there's a lot of other resources out there for you. I'll be honest, I can't be there for you every single moment. Right? You call me 3 in the morning, okay, sure, I'll probably pick up, but I probably won't be happy about it. But, we have Naviance. It's an extremely valuable resource. It's something that I really want all of our families to get plugged into. Right? And there's a lot of valuable resources in Naviance that will connect you with other things as well. It's very, very important. But as Zoe mentioned, and as we're wrapping up here, there is a final thing that I'm going to go ahead and share with your students right before we head into this summer. Right? To kind of give them a final, here's what we should be thinking about. So as I mentioned, I met with your children twice. One as a whole class, and then second, I just met with them this past week. I'm going to meet with them probably about 2 more times. And again, this is on the last page of your booklet. So if you go over the last page of your booklet, you'll see this list up there. I'll meet with them 2 more times, 2 to 3 more times. Right? And then the last one, I'll go ahead and say, here's what we should go ahead and consider right before the summer starts. Prepare for standardized testing if your child still needs to go ahead and do that. Work on a college list over the summer. We want to go ahead and make sure when you come back, we have a list that we can start working on, right? Start and working on some of the data entry, right? So if you know a college that you're interested in, why not get a head start on just filling out some of the basic information? In terms of the rough draft for the applications, working on the rough draft is number 4. Write your resume. That's very important. That's going to be done through Naviance as well. 6, think about teacher recommendations. Number 7, get involved. So think about how else you're going to go ahead and get involved outside of the things that are just mentioned above, numbers 1 through 6. And of course, number 8, we need to make sure we relax. Right? Now, some of you 11th graders here in the audience are only looking at number 8. Right? But we really need to make sure that we don't come back to senior year extremely exhausted. Oh, I'm so exhausted because I did all of these things on Mr. Wilson's list except for number 8, and I did them 30 times. I'm sorry, we don't want you tired like that. And guess what? Colleges don't want you tired like that. So just make sure, please, that there is definitely time to relax however you choose to go ahead and do that. Right? And here's my final year-long assignment. I actually had this assignment for 11th graders, but actually I don't know if you remember this from senior retreat. But here are also the same year-long assignments that I had for the seniors as well. So go the distance, finish strong. It's very, very Lance Armstrong kind of a thing. Yes, we want to go and finish strong without a doubt. Stay out of trouble. Oh Lord, please, please, students in the audience, stay out of trouble. Don't get suspended. All right, don't make a regular trip to Mr. Parsons' office. If you do get in trouble, honestly, it's going to be something we have to report to the universities. And I can very confidently say it'll probably affect your chances. So let's make sure that we do abide by our handbook policy. All right. As for help, again, I may not know the answer, but I will find out for sure. And again, I'm here to serve you. Right. And that last part is very, very important, right, in terms of what we do here at YISS. I mentioned it before, and I'll say it again. We, our whole entire campus, we love our student body. We love you guys very much. And we're committed to you guys, to giving you guys the absolute best opportunities. And we look forward to doing that. Which is why I think that we are, in fact, the best school. And I'm so glad that you guys are here tonight. I think that kind of supports that as well. But you got to go ahead and let us do this upcoming year together. I can't do all of this by myself. I need mom and dad. I need your help. Students in the audience, I need your help. I think together we can really have a fantastic year. So, Zoe, before we wrap up, do you have any final closing comments for us?
This is really corny, but I have something to share. In the end, I'm glad I have no big regrets, and my parents don't either. They pushed me to do the best I can, but they didn't expect me to be perfect. That small liberty allowed me truly to be fearless in trying new things, even though I might fail. I sincerely hope the same goes for each and every one of your children and for you as well. I wish I could tell all of the upcoming seniors to not stress too much and have faith in the Lord. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys again so much for your time tonight. Again, I know it's very, very valuable, your Sunday nights, and so I thank you so much. I'll stick around in terms of asking any specific questions if you guys would like to come on up and ask. Otherwise, feel free to shoot me an email, drop a question in the drop box outside, or feel free to come to the coffee on Thursday at 10 o'clock in the NPR on the second floor. But other than that, we have plenty of food, I believe, outside, so stuff it in your purse, put it in your pockets. Just go ahead. I'd love to go ahead and see an empty buffet out there after we wrap up. But again, thank you so much for coming out tonight.